Hey everyone, welcome to episode 1 of the Heritage Arts Podcast. We are Tim and Kayla, owners of Heritage Arts Co. located in Minnesota. This is a podcast about art and handcrafts. Today we're going to be talking about knitting, watercolor, and woodworking. So jumping right into things today, I'm going to start talking about a finished object that I just did. An FO, some might say. I'm learning this new lingo
in the crafty community.
Yeah, Kayla's been in it for a while, and hearing her whips and FOs and not knowing what that really means. So learned in the last week that an FO is a finished object. Yeah, okay. So finished object. My finished object is a new bed that I just completed not that long ago, within the last few weeks at least. And I made the bed. We have a 4-month-old, just over a 4-month-old, and he still sleeps in our room. And the bed that we currently had was from
when you were in high school
or middle school. Was at least the bed frame.
I was gonna say, didn't you buy it from your cousin?
Yeah, so it was a used bed. The bed frame was, and the box spring I'm pretty sure was too, so it has seen plenty of love. And
I'm sorry.
It had seen it was time for a new bed. Anytime one of us got in or out of the bed or just rolled over in bed, it would make a ton of noise. And one night Kayla just said, "Can I have a couple $1,000? We need a new bed." And me, being the very, very tightwad that I am, said, "Well, how about I make us a bed?" And so that next morning I decided to start designing a bed. We looked at a ton of beds online, and we kind of made a mix of a platform bed and a 4-poster bed. I really liked the 4-poster bed look and feel and the nice kind of regalness of it. And so I started designing the bed.
We also wanted a lot of storage. Too.
That
was part of the design, was that we don't have a lot of storage in our house in general, but even just in our bedroom, we just don't have a ton of storage, and we're using plastic bins under the bed, and we just wanted something that had more integrated storage. So that was part of some of my requirements.
So, little backstory. I was a carpenter for about 7 years, and I was a finished carpenter and cabinet maker. So I have all the tools still. I have, an extensive knowledge on taking photos, creating the blueprints off of it. And so, like I said, that next morning I started designing, and our design tastes are not always lined up exactly.
But you almost always know what I want.
Yeah, so I designed a bed that I thought Kayla would want, and amazingly, apparently I did
It was perfect.
Yeah, she said, "Yes, I want that bed, make it." So
I don't think I made any requested revisions to your design.
No, I don't think so. So I made a parts list and figured out how much wood I needed, and I'll get into my WIP in a little bit, but with how much wood I thought I needed, I really over ordered, and I'll get to that later. But I decided to make it a little less expensive, and I made it out of some knotty pine, and we'll post a photo here kind of showing what this finished object looks like. And you can see, like I said, the mix of the platform bed with the drawers underneath and the 4-poster bed with the larger posts at the foot of the bed there. And then I also have a couple little cabinets up in the headboard along with bookshelves on either side of the bed too. So I think it turned out fantastic. The finish is a Rust-Oleum stain. It's called Kona. And then just a Minwax polyurethane finish on top of that. So it took me a couple weeks to build. A lot. I don't have a large wood shop. It is a
smaller than the room that we're in right now.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Well, it's about the same size,
but with a lot bigger equipment.
Yeah, so it kept bringing in partially finished parts of the bed in our basement, bringing it back out. So it was a large process, but turned out great. Doesn't make any noise now, and it really looks has that kind of what I feel is a regal feel to it, and really brings warmth to our bedroom now.
It does.
So that's my finished object right now.
Yeah, it's a huge one. Yeah. Well, as Tim mentioned, we have a 4-month-old. So I don't really finish anything anymore. So rather than, I guess, recent finished objects, I'll probably, over the next couple of podcasts, just be showing some of my finished objects from the last year. So this that I'm wearing right now is one of them. It is the River Shawl is the name. And I, of course, didn't end up looking up who designed it. So we'll put that kind of on a banner below, I think.
Yeah.
And we'll link it on Ravelry. But it's a DK white shawl, and this kind of bluish color is Antique Moonstone from Madeline Tosh in Tosh DK, and then the white is just Barocco Ultra DK. And it's a really beautiful shawl. This shawl pin was made by Tim. And so it is a lot of garter, which is always kind of a nice, relaxing TV knit.
What do you mean by TV knit?
Things you can knit while you watch TV. Some people call it, I've heard popcorn knitting or chips knitting? I think on the Bakery Bears, Dan called it chips knitting. Because he heard an American say it, and then Kay was like, why is it called chips knitting? Because in chips, in the UK, chips are fries. You wouldn't want to be eating that while you knit, I guess. Well, greasy.
I'll eat the fries.
Yeah, he'll eat the fries, I'll knit. But so, yeah, people call it different things, but I don't know, I call it TV knitting, whether I'm knitting or reading or whatever, but lots of garter, so just a lot of back and forth, not much purling, but some nice little eyelet sections. So this is kind of the whole striping pattern. So I finished this, I think, within the month before Noah was born. That's our son. This colorway actually was the remainder of the yarn that I used to knit Tim a vest the year before. So if we had our stuff together, we'd probably take some matchy-matchy family photos, because Noah also had a little bonnet made out of this. But we didn't do that, and now he's too big for the bonnet. So so it's, I mean, we can still match.
We can match.
Yeah. I don't have enough of it left to make him anything else. Do you have enough
of the white color to make?
This is white. I could get more. Or no, actually I do have more. So I guess I could make him a little something to match. But so that is my old FO. we'll call them. Throwback FOs. We're recording on a Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday FOs.
Yeah, but they're going to be watching it on like a
Sunday.
Sunday.
Well, I don't have anything catchy for that. But anyway, hopefully I'll have some more recent FOs coming up, but right now we'll just be digging into the archives. So yeah, that's my only FO to really show off. But
okay. Well, give me the shawl pin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I guess this is an FO from Tim.
Here's a throwback FO, I guess, too. So, Kayla makes a lot of shawls because apparently TV. What'd you call that thing again?
It's just good TV knitting.
TV knitting. I thought maybe TV stood for something else besides television. So, because she makes a lot of shawls, she asked for a shawl pin for her birthday or Mother's Day.
I mentioned that shawl pins exist, and then you actually surprised me.
Yeah, I went out to the shop.
Yeah,
one
you surprised
afternoon.
me. It was like a week before my birthday, even
on a Saturday afternoon. I just went out to the shop just to get out of the house and go into the shop because it was a beautiful day. And I don't know, I looked on my phone on Pinterest, I'm sure, and saw some shawl pins and quick whipped up a few of these, and I think I did couple heart ones.
Yep. And the acorn. The acorn was the OG.
Acorn, yeah, the acorn one. You should have brought that one. We'll have to show that in a future podcast. Yeah. But I just all of a sudden whipped up some shawl pins, and so just out of scrap wood. It's a really, really great, quick, easy project to do. And well, here I'll show it again. We have a couple of shawl pins still on our Etsy.
Yep,
we've sold a couple of these, and
and then we have the heart ones.
Yeah, too. Heart ones I know for sure.
Showcase those the next couple times.
But if you go to our Etsy shop, you can see the last remaining shawl pins that I made before I apparently restock. I don't make a ton of them, but whenever I have a free minute, which isn't often anymore with a 4-month-old, I'll make some more shawl pins.
Yeah. Someday. Yeah, well, so those are kind of FOs for now. Maybe I'll do my whips first, and then you can go ahead with yours. So, I don't have a ton of whips on the needles right now. One that I've kind of been working on is the Yarn Cozy Light, which is designed by Knitty Natty. And it's just a little knit yarn cozy, so yarn to put your yarn in. And it's a little, to go around a cake of yarn, so that if you're doing a center pull, it will kind of shrink in as you pull from the center, so that you don't have that yarn barf. That's what we call it, is yarn barf. So I've been working on this. I don't know, I probably still have a little bit to go. I haven't worked on it a ton lately because tiny, pointy, sharp little needles are not great around a baby. So I just don't work on it quite as often as some other, as my other project. So my other project that I'm working on then is the faux set crop designed by Devin Venturi of Knitting McPurley. It's a really beautiful colorwork yoke, and you can hold it up. This is a little too small for Tim, but it should fit me just right, hopefully. So this is a sweater that I started, I want to say I started even after Noah was born.
I think so.
Yeah, and it was part of the knit along for the faux set crop. However, I did not finish it in that time. But it's a DK weight colorwork sweater. The colors are, this is actually a custom dyed colorway from Camp Fiber Yarns that she had dyed for me, actually, for a little sweater I made for a girlfriend's baby. And these are just the leftovers of that. We like using leftovers in this house. Leftover wood,
Thrifty.
leftover food, leftover yarn. So so that's leftover from that. The gray is, I think the color was Charcoal from String Theory hand dyed yarns, and that one was a stash acquisition on Ravelry that I bought from someone else's stash. I kind of was looking for the perfect color to go with my vision for the sweater, and I found that and got a really good deal on it. And then this brownish color is a color called Brulee from Brine Dye Works, and this one I actually bought new.
Wait, what?
What? You buy yarn? Yeah. Well, not that often. So anyway, all really beautiful hand-dyed yarns, but I feel like I was able to put them together really well. I kind of had this vision for this tealy and this brown together, and I'm really loving how it's coming out. So, yeah, so it's a really fun sweater to work up. There's a good amount of color work mixed with texture, some bobbles, and yeah, I'm just past the splitting for the armholes, and I'm really excited to see how it keeps coming together. It's a short sleeve, so I won't have much to go beyond the sleeves here. And then it's supposed to be cropped. I haven't decided if I'll make it cropped. Right now, I don't really have...
What's cropped mean?
Oh, sorry.
I'm learning everything.
You've heard of a crop top, right?
Well, I didn't know that's what you meant by that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what TV meant like a couple minutes ago.
Television. Yeah, so it's supposed to be a cropped sweater. In a couple of the samples, Devin has modeled it where she's wearing maybe like a dress with it, like a linen dress, kind of a natural weight at the natural waist, or with like a lacy or kind of sheer top under it. And so I really like that, but it's not really anything I currently wear, which I'm sure was about what you were gonna.
Well, yeah, I like the thought of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know whenever.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
No one goes anywhere right now,
well,
but
we
don't go anywhere even when COVID isn't going on.
True. My grand vision of this would be that I could wear this sweater with a black linen hinterland dress, if anyone's heard of the hinterland dress. But hinterland or Pine and Smith is a manufacturer, but the hinterland is a sewing pattern that's out there for kind of that natural waist kind of dress with a gathered skirt. And so yeah, I mean, in my wildest dreams I would love to wear this with that I have sewn myself, but how often do I sew? Not often.
Yeah.
Not often. I made us some COVID masks.
That's true.
Yeah. And I was starting to make a project bag from an old pillowcase the day that I went into labor. So,
yes.
Yep. And I haven't sewn since.
Yeah. Over 4 months.
Yes. So, that said, yeah, I don't exactly know how I want to style this sweater, so I haven't decided if it'll be cropped or not. Also, depending on yarn usage, that decision might be made for me. So if I don't have enough yarn, it might be cropped, and I'll figure out some way to wear it. But yeah, so that's my WIP. Probably won't be an FO for several episodes yet, is my guess. But that's what I'm working on. So every once in a while I'll pick up a smaller project here or there. I had made some, not dishcloths, but pot holders.
Yep.
I made a couple pot holders in the last month or so, or a couple months, I guess. And I had started making a pair of socks for Noah.
I bet money the day she started it that she was gonna frog it. Frog it?
Yeah, you've known.
Frog it.
See, of all the terms that he doesn't know, the one term that he does know is frog, because I do it so often. So I started knitting a pair of socks for Noah. I finished one sock. They were kind of like a tube sock, because babies grow so fast. And I had just been making it with some scrap yarn, and it ended up being like 2 shades of brown, and it kind of just looked like a turd. Which would have been fine if I was sniffing a turd. No, it would have been fine if they would have fit him. But when I put the one sock that I'd finished on, and I left it on him for maybe, 5 minutes or so of him squirming around, it had started to like already come off of his foot. So it was neither beautiful nor functional. And so it was frogged. So that was kind of my only other thing that I was working on recently. But so I think that's about it for my whips. But what's your whip?
So as I stated in my FO, I purchased way too much wood. And when we put the bed in place in our bedroom, we knew that we were probably gonna want nightstands.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe I would actually purchase them, so that way, and I just didn't think I was gonna have the time, which I don't. Excuse me. But because I had so much extra wood, I decided after it was in place that I might as well make 2 matching nightstands. And so in an afternoon again, I decided to design them. I designed them to match the bed. I've matched the headboard and footboard in different ways. Right now in the shop, all the parts are cut. The legs are glued up and nothing else is together. Hoping that maybe by the next podcast, it could be an FO, or it might just be the ending of the whip. So gonna finish it in that Kona stain again. Everything's gonna match. It ties in really well. The beadboard that's in the back of the doors and drawer fronts and on the back of the bookshelf and the bed, that's gonna be on the sides and in the drawer fronts of the nightstands as well. So it's really nice. The bed has got a ton of storage underneath, and the nightstands are gonna have a couple drawers as well, which is, I don't know, somehow our bedroom has gained like 4 times the storage, and the bed takes up more room. So we have less space and more storage now. So that's what I'm currently working on. When I was cutting it all out, I still did have to go back to Menards, and I picked up 3 more boards, because even though I did overpurchase, I overpurchased 3 boards short to being able to complete it all. But yeah.
That's actually, that's very similar to how some of my knitting projects turn out. It's like, and that was kind of the deal with the sweater. It's like, I really want to use up this one scrap. So let me buy 2 new skeins of yarn to finish off this one scrap.
Yeah, that
it's kind of the same, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's the cycle of crafting, I guess, isn't it?
My other whip, which I'm just gonna kind of tease, I am starting a new hobby. Mm-hmm. So my shop is not insulated, and as I said, we are located in Minnesota, so it gets cold here starting pretty much now. And because I don't have, my shop isn't insulated and heated, I will go out there on a warm day and have a little space heater running out there to do some small craft projects, but I don't spend a lot of time out there in the winter. And so I need a winter project for in the house, so I'm not freezing every time I want to craft.
Or having to shovel your way out to the shop either.
That too. So I needed a TV project or
just an evening.
Yeah.
Kind of just some evening.
So I'm not going to say what it is quite yet, but there are some hints around in this podcast, and there will be some hints coming up on our Instagram feed.
Yeah.
So I am dabbling in the fiber arts.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'd consider it a fiber art.
Yeah, I already have one FO, and I have a whip right now too, that I'm
big whip.
A very big whip.
Yeah.
And
a whip that I started and did not finish.
Which, as you will see,
you'll
that
learn
is
more
a common
about
theme in our household. So
you'll learn more about that next time.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting to have, a guy who wears a lot of flannel and works out in the cold in the wood shop, now dabbling in the fiber art. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to show everyone what I have going on. So make sure you stay tuned. Do you have anything upcoming?
I did realize I didn't include in my whips that
check my notes here.
Yeah, I had I have a watercolor project that I'm working on. So I also do a lot of watercolor and visual arts, and so not all of this is my work. Some of this is friends' work. But I do watercolor home portraits. And right now I'm working on one for one of the pastors of our church. She commissioned one for her brother's home, which is a super, super cute historic home on the river, or near the river.
Near the river.
So I've been working on that, and that will be an FO by the next time. So I'm excited to show that off. It's been one of my first watercolor projects in a while since Noah was born. So it's been nice to dabble back into that, and so that's one of my whips. And then I guess another kind of whip, I guess you could consider it. It's not really myself crafting, but I also do tech editing for knit patterns. So I've got one shawl that I'm working on right now, working on editing that, and then I've got several upcoming ones. Another shawl, I think a pair of socks. One of the designers I work with is just wrapping up a cowl pattern that is made for using up minis, like a set of mini skeins, or just scraps. So I've got several edits on the go right now. So I'll probably be doing a little bit more of those updates as well, I think, in the podcast of just talking about what some of my designers are doing, and then also including just some maybe tips from a tech editor. And so that can be helpful for any aspiring knit designers, but I think it's also really helpful for general knitters, just because some of these things might help you just read patterns better and understand what designers are intending as well. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of that with you guys too, because that's been one of my, I guess, sort of newfound passions within my much more long-standing hobby of knitting. But I've been at that for about a year, and so so I'm excited to just start sharing more about that. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back every first and third Sunday of every month to talk more about all things handcrafted. Yeah. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, turn the bell on so you're notified when we upload our next podcast. You can also find us on Ravelry, Instagram, and our website at heritageartsco.com. And we'll include links to everything below in the description. So keep on crafting.
Thanks for watching.